This felt like a lost Final Destination movie. I'll start out with the positives. I really admire and appreciate a good genre blend. Recently, I have seen movies like Companion and also Heart Eyes, where those are truly dark comedies or they are horror comedies, and I think those movies pulled it off really well. And I'm a fan when it can work out, and I really appreciate this movie really going for that tone. It is really fucked up and disturbing, but it also uses a lot of humor, and there are times where something really messed up happens on screen and you kind of want to laugh and you feel like maybe you shouldn't be laughing because it's not good. It's messed up. So that is a tone that can work for me. Most of the time, I don't really watch just like straight up comedies. There are a few exceptions, but I think that the horror comedy and the dark comedy is really more of my bag. So I appreciate the concept that this one was going for. This is directed by Osgood Perkins, who also made Longlegs last year, which is a movie that I appreciated more upon second watch. I think the biggest highlight for this one is also the cinematography. It looks beautiful. There are some establishing shots in here that I think look very beautiful. The colors are vibrant, and I love how he plays around with the shadows. It makes me want to look up who the cinematographer is so that I can see what he has worked on in the past and also what he's going to be doing in the future. It looks that good. Here's a quick little insert. I forgot to mention that I really like the iconography of the monkey. If we are going to be making more and more iconic killers, I think the evil demon monkey in this movie looks great because it looks appropriately creepy. It is showing up in different places out of nowhere. I just wanted to make sure that I gave props to the design of the demon monkey. So I mentioned that this is a dark comedy, and I really like that tone most of the times, but this one felt weirdly structured to me. And I have to preface by saying I know that that is the point of this movie. This movie is off kilter. It is odd. It is weird. It is nasty sometimes and very gory. And that's the purpose of it. That is very much what this is going for. And I get that. But a lot of the times that just didn't really work for me. This almost felt like Osgood Perkins had a bunch of different ideas of disturbing, gory kills, and he found a way to make a story out of that with this script that he wrote. I mean, that's all that kind of sticks out in my mind, which feels odd for a movie that's not a slasher or Saw-like type of film, but it's got these themes of generational trauma, but it also has these kind of random, bloody, gory kills happening to characters that we don't really care about. So I don't know, I think the tone for me just felt kind of odd and confusing. The dark tone felt abrupt at times. This happens when there's some sort of diabolical, implausible kill that happens, and it just kind of happens sometimes to some random characters that we really didn't get the time to know. And I think that maybe if we had gotten the time to know some of these characters, that the kills would have done more for me. I know sometimes in slasher movies, we are always hoping for bigger, bloodier, and more creative kills. And I think that makes sense for something that is like a slasher film, like a Scream movie or like a Saw movie. But for this kind of film, these kills didn't really land for me. There are kills in here that feel very obviously improbable, and that is the point of it, but I think it just went over the line for me. Some of them are just too ridiculous. There is a scene in here of a woman that jumps into a pool, and the way that ends up being wrapped up, it just left me oddly unsatisfied. Which is kind of funny to think about. One of my Heart Eyes review, I was actually asking for that movie to have kind of more bloodshed and more creative kills. And now for this new movie, The Monkey, I was kind of thinking they needed to tone it down a bit or have it structured in a different way, or maybe have the reactions from the characters be different, because it kind of made me feel unsatisfied and kind of rolling my eyes. And I'm sad that I feel that way. I was really looking forward to this because, like I said, I liked Longlegs more when I rewatched it. I found more value and picked up on more things on my second watch. So it made me look forward to this one. So on my first time watch of this, I just continually kept feeling kind of let down and disappointed at how these kills were going about. So our leading man in this is Theo James, who is, I think he is a good actor. I think he has some good moments in here, particularly in the second half, but there were times where his character came off cartoonish to me, and maybe that plays along with the tone that this movie is trying to balance, is trying to handle this completely ridiculousness, comedic, humorous tone while also being very fucked up, dark, and disturbing, and a horror. So I think because of that, he probably did the best that he could have done, but I just wished and hoped for more. I do think it got better for me as the movie went along because of particular developments that happened with his character, which I won't spoil, but I had hoped better for him. And when I say cartoonish, there were times where some of the acting choices were being made, and I could have sworn that some sort of melding of live action, The Mask type of effect was about to happen. The acting choices felt bad. This story has to do with generational trauma, which means this is the second movie this year, the second horror movie this year after The Wolfman, that has to do with generational trauma between fathers and sons. I do applaud that, and I do think the movie is very well shot. All in all, I just had hoped for more. I wanted more. I needed more. There's also a character that is predominantly featured in the trailers for this that ends up not really having much to do, and that was a real bummer for me. At the beginning of the film, you think that this character is placed here because we're gonna see their journey and how that comes about, but then I never really get that. So I think as just a viewer, there were certain expectations that I might have had, and I think I was just having whiplash at the tone of this. I do think there is still enough in here that would still make me interested in future work from this director. Usually I do like this tone. I do usually like dark comedies. I do think it is a beautiful film to look at. I do think it is wonderfully shot. So that is enough for me to be interested in his concepts for the future. I am very curious to know how fans will react to this. I think that if you are somebody who is just in it for the blood and guts and gore, you will be more satisfied than I was. For my personal score, I'll be giving The Monkey a 3 out of 5 stars. If you are enjoying my content, please go ahead and hit subscribe and hit that like button. I recently just hit 1,000 subscribers. And if you are one of those subs, thank you so much for subscribing. Tell your friends to subscribe now. Hit that big thumbs up. It really helps me out. And I'll catch you guys next time.